What's up, guys? So, before I say anything, I should probably point out to any of those that are new to my channel, I am not a psychologist, nor do I claim to be a psychologist. I am probably more knowledgeable than the average person in psychology, but that's just due to my own personal study, and I do not claim to be an expert at anything. I'm just making this video and all my other videos for entertainment purposes, and either entertainment purposes or, since I do have my own personal experiences with mental illness, to maybe help other people out. With that said, while I was on the train coming back from, I had finals today in my audio for media class, I was looking up on YouTube, because something I've always done when I'm bored is I'll either research psychology or I'll watch videos about Final Fantasy or read about Final Fantasy. It's because it's something that can just distract me when I'm bored. I've always really loved character development, and I've always been a huge fan of the Final Fantasy series. Final Fantasy VII in particular, as I made another video where a few months ago where I talked about my Final Fantasy VII tattoo, but I noticed that nobody has made anything, or at least very few people have made anything related to psychology in Final Fantasy, and I saw an opening in the market, so I thought I'd make this video. So this is just going to be the first video in the series. I'm not sure how I'm going to, go about doing this, and I'm sure the format's going to change over time. Hopefully get better as I actually get some professional equipment and stop making all my videos on my iPad, but that's enough rambling. So, I'll start with Cloud Strife because he's always been my favorite character, and I've always thought that he has, one of the most interesting psychological, makeups in any of the Final Fantasies, at least, but that's my personal opinion. So with me, I've always wanted to place him as having borderline personality disorder, and the problem is, apart from, he does have a fractured sense of identity, but that is due almost entirely the Genova cells that are implanted in his body. So in order to avoid just guessing, I'm going to go through the symptoms now. Okay, so frantic efforts to avoid being abandoned by friends and family. If anything, in the game, he throughout the majority of it, he's actually hesitant to form any type of relationship, so I can't really say that about him. Okay, unstable personal relationships that alternate between idealization, I'm so in love, and devaluation, I hate her. This is sometimes known as splitting. He shows no signs of that. Like I said, he pretty much avoids forming any type of relationships, actually until pretty much the end of the game. Distorted and unstable self-image, which affects moods, values, opinions, goals, and relationships. He does have issues with self-image that go back to his childhood. So for that, I will say yes. Impulsive behaviors that can have dangerous outcomes, such as excessive spending, unsafe sex, substance abuse, or reckless driving. He's part of a vigilante squad, so that's kind of impulsive, if you want to see it that way, except he's doing it at first primarily for financial means, so I guess that's a half yes. Suicidal or self-harming behavior, again, he's part of a vigilante group, but saying yes to that would just be kind of ridiculous at this point. Periods of intense depressed mood, irritability, or anxiety lasting a few hours to a few days. I did see depressed mood, irritability, and anxiety, so I'm going to say yes to that. Chronic feelings of boredom or emptiness. He does seem bored, but and he does seem to feel empty, but I don't really. He's a character anyway, and I don't know the guy personally, so I can't say for sure. Inappropriate, intense, or uncontrollable anger, often followed by shame and guilt. He definitely has a lot of shame and guilt, primarily brought on by the death of Aerith. But that's not due to his uncontrollable anger, so I have to say no to that. Disassociative feelings, disconnecting from your thoughts or sense of identity, or out-of-body type of feelings, and stress-related paranoid thoughts. Severe cases of stress can also lead to brief psychotic episodes. Whenever he's, doing the little journey through his mind about 3/4 of the way through the game, that is sort of a dissociative state, an out-of-body state, but that's brought on by Mako poisoning, so I can't really give him that one either. If I was completely clueless about the game, I could say that he does potentially have borderline personality disorder, but no, he doesn't. There's no chance in hell he has borderline personality disorder. Or at least that's my opinion. But I did a little bit of research, because I'm a fucking nerd. And I can't take credit for this. This wasn't my own research. But I found an old comment on a forum from like 9 years ago. And the person pointed out there's actually a high probability that he suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder, which could account for a lot of his symptoms. But as was pointed out, he does have serious issues with, especially with having all his mother and, you know, all of his friends and everybody. Well, I mean, he didn't have that many friends when he was a kid anyway, but everyone that he knew and loved growing up killed, and, you know, being, you know, unable to save them. And, you know, then further on with the death of Aerith and, you know, the death of his friend Zach, you know, that's definitely, you know, if that's not causing all of his issues, that's at least, those things by themselves are going to cause, you know, those are traumatic experiences which are going to cause issues regardless. So, if we go through the symptoms, exposure to a traumatic event, yes, he has several. Persistent re-experience, I do believe he has nightmares and flashbacks. I haven't played the game in a few years, so I'm a little bit fuzzy on that. Then persistent avoidance of stimuli associated with trauma. He definitely has not just fear of losing control of himself, but he actually does lose control of himself because he's having his mind controlled by the Genova cells and, you know, by Sephiroth, which is also through the Genova cells. So yes, persistent symptoms of increased arousal. I would assume so. I can't say for sure. They don't go that in depth in the game. Duration of symptoms more than 1 month. I would have to also assume so in this situation. Significant impairment in social, occupation, or other important areas of functioning. He's definitely having issues forming new relationships. So my final conclusion, even though, I mean, I did some research, so I don't think he has a personality disorder, but he does likely have PTSD. That's going to be my final answer for that. So, like I said, I'm not sure how I'm going to do these videos. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the format for these videos. This is kind of just a novel idea, and, you know, I just wanted to experiment with it. If you disagree with what I've had to say about Cloud Strife's analysis, or if you want to disagree about anything I say in any of my videos, that's perfectly fine. I'm all about discussion. I'm all about debate, and I just like talking to people. So, please, you know, comment below any of your disagreements. And, you know, maybe we can get a discussion going. And it's all just for fun anyway, because he's a fictional character. Therefore, you know, there's no way that he has any of these issues. I think that's all I got that I have to say. So as always, if you like my video, subscribe. If you like the music, buy it. And if you hate me, tell everybody. Out.
Pizza boy Nizza. Pizza for Nizza. Pizza bonita. Pizza bonita.